Now we are going to see about India population, transport, communication and trade. This lesson is from 10th standard geography 5th lesson. In the previous part we have seen about population, census, migration and about urbanization. In the second part we are going to see about the different means of transport. Transport, it means carrying the passengers and materials from one place to another. It is a lifeline of a country. Now, means of transport. So, landways, waterways, and airways are the three ways means of transport. Under the landways, first one roadways, second one railways, third one pipelines. Now come to the waterways. First one inland waterways, second one ocean waterways. Now under the means of transport, airways. Under the airways, first one domestic airways, second one international airways. Now we'll see about roadways. Roadways plays an important role in carrying goods and materials for short, medium and long distances. It is highly suitable for the short distance services. It is comparatively easy and cheap to construct and maintain roads. Road transport system can establish easy contact between farms, fields, factories and markets and can provide door-to-door transport services. For the purpose of construction and maintenance, roads are classified into national highways, state highways, district roads, rural roads or village roads, border roads and international highways. This classification about that we are going to see in this national highways, that is NH. National highways form the most important system of road transportation in India. These highways are running through length and breadth of the country, connecting capitals of states, major ports, rail junctions, industrial and tourist centers. The longest national highway is NH44. The longest national highway is NH44. This runs from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh to Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu. So the longest national highway is NH44. This runs from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh to Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu. It covers the distance of 2369 kilometers. The shortest national highway is NH47A. The shortest national highway is NH47A, which runs from Ernakulam to Kochi port. That is, runs from Ernakulam to Kochi port in Kerala. It considering about only, that is, it covers only 6 kilometers. So, longest railway line roadways is NH44. Shortest roadway is NH47A. State highways. The state highways are usually roads that link important cities, towns, and district headquarters within the state. These roads are administered and financed by state governments. Next, district roads. District roads are constructed and maintained by the Public Works Department of the states. District roads provide connectivity between the district and taluk headquarters. Now, rural roads or village roads. These roads are vital for providing links in the rural areas. It links the different villages with their neighboring towns. They are maintained by village panchayats. So, village roads or rural roads are linked with the neighboring towns. Border roads. These are the roads of strategic importance in border areas. They are constructed and maintained by Border Roads Organization. Border Road Organization has constructed world's highest road joining Chandigarh and Leh in Ladakh. Leh Leh in Ladakh. Ladakh Ladakh. This route runs at an average altitude of 4,270 meters. So altitude is 4,270 meters. That is, it connects with the Chandigarh and Ladakh. Golden quadrilateral roads. Golden quadrilateral roads runs from 5,846 kilometer long roads of 6 by 4 lanes connects India's 4 metropolitan cities. So Golden Quadrilateral runs like 5,846 kilometer long and also 6 by 4 lanes connects and also 4 metropolitan cities. It connects with the 4 metropolitan cities, that is Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi. This project was launched in 1999. So this project was launched in 1999. International highways. These are the roads that link India with neighboring countries for promoting harmonious relationship with them. These roads connect important highways of India with those of the neighboring countries such as Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. So with these countries, India connect with the international highways. Railways. Indian railway system is the main artery of the country's inland transport. Railways fulfill the needs of large scale movement of transportation, both for freight and passengers, to help for the economical growth of India. It also promotes trade, tourism, education, etc. Its role in transporting raw materials to industries and finished goods to markets is invaluable. So, railways carrying the transportation of the raw materials to industries and finished goods to the markets are very valuable. Indian Railways network is the largest in Asia and second largest in the world. For the purpose of operations and management, the Indian Railways is organized into 17 zones like Northern Railway, Central Railway, Eastern Railway, Southern Railway, etc. On the basis of width of the track, the Indian Railways fall under 4 categories like broad gauge, meter gauge, narrow gauge and light gauge. Broad gauge, it means 1.67 meter width. It based on the width. So the tracks width of the tracks. Like broad gauge, it means 1.67 meter width. Meter gauge, it means 1 meter width. Narrow gauge, it means 0.762 meter width. Light gauge, it means 0.610 meter width. So the width is based on the track. Now, metro rails in India. There are 8 cities with metro rail connectivity in India. They are Kolkata, Chennai, Delhi, Bangalore, Haryana, Mumbai, Jaipur and Kochi. The metro rail in Kolkata is the first one in India. So when they started first railway line in Kolkata, it is the first in India. It is also called as Mass Rapid Transit System. It means MRTS. As of September 2018, India has 507 kilometer of operational metro lines and 381 stations. Particularly in Meghalaya, there is no railway network. Pipeline transport. Pipelines provided a very convenient mode of transport to connect oil and natural gas fields. refineries and to the markets. Like 10-20 years back, these were used to transport water to cities and industries. Now, solids can also be transported through a pipeline when converted into slurry. Slurry, it means semi-solid. So, semi-solid things can carry through the pipeline. The initial cost of laying pipeline is high, but running cost is minimum. It can be laid through difficult in the area of terrain and underwater. It ensures steady supply of goods and reduces the transport losses and delays. Oil field in Upper Assam to Kanpur, from Salaya in Gujarat through Jalandhar in Punjab, and gas pipeline from the Hazira in Gujarat to Jagadishpur in Uttar Pradesh. So, oil fields, through the pipeline, in these oil fields, they are getting the oil and gas. In such areas are like Upper Assam to Kanpur, then Salaya in Gujarat to Jalandhar in Punjab. Third one, gas pipelines from Hazira in Gujarat to Jagadishpur in Uttar Pradesh. In this area, they have the oil fields. So through this, from the oil fields, they are carrying through the pipelines.